Number 1. We navigated with paper maps. Relationships have ended because of disagreements over what the map showed. And let's not forget the frustration of trying to fold a paper map back into its original shape. These arguments weren't just about navigation. They symbolized deeper issues in relationships. Some people preferred the precision of GPS, while others enjoyed the nostalgia of using a paper map. The rise of digital mapping apps brought new challenges, like arguing over which app to use or dealing with recalculating interruptions during road trips. Ultimately, these map disputes showed how couples adapt to change and communicate in modern relationships. Number 2. We started driving small cars. We started seeing higher fuel prices in the 1970s, thanks to the oil crisis of 1973. Suddenly, the giant cars we piled our families into became impractical. People began to look for more fuel-efficient vehicles to save money on gas. Smaller cars generally got better gas mileage than larger cars, which seemed like a smart purchase. With the rising cost of fuel, families had to rethink their choice of cars. Those massive vehicles that could barely squeeze into parking spots were no longer practical. So what did we do? We downsized. Instead of cruising around in giant gas guzzlers, we hopped into smaller, more fuel-efficient cars. It just made sense. Smaller cars meant less money spent at the gas pump. This shift not only saved us money, but also marked a change in our automotive preferences, showing that practicality and fuel efficiency were now top priorities for many drivers. Number 3. We rode in the back of station wagons. I don't think there's a more thrilling view than seeing the world from the back of a station wagon. Picture this. At stoplights, we'd wave at the people in the car behind us, feeling like backseat royalty. And, yes, we bounced around without seatbelts, living life on the wild side. It was a time when safety regulations were a bit more lenient, and the freedom of being in the open back of a station wagon was unmatched. The wind in your hair, the sun on your face, and the sheer joy of adventure made those rides unforgettable. It was a simpler, carefree era, where the back of a station wagon wasn't just a seat. It was a front row ticket to a roller coaster of memories. Number 4. We piled into the bed of a pickup truck. If riding in the back of a station wagon without seatbelts was dangerous, then catching a ride with your buddies in the back of your dad's pickup truck was an even riskier adventure. Picture this. You and your friends jump into the bed of the truck. No seatbelts, just the wind in your hair as you head off to grab some ice cream, feeling like you're on top of the world. Looking back, it's a wonder how we made it through those rides unscathed. No safety concerns crossed our minds. We were just enjoying the freedom and thrill of the moment. The reckless escapades of piling into the back of a pickup truck became a badge of honor among friends. A symbol of carefree days when the biggest worry was choosing between chocolate or vanilla ice cream. Number 5. We hitchhiked places. The 1970s were a simpler time. We felt safer and thought accepting rides from strangers was fine. And it was. Back then, thumbing a ride was like our version of ride-sharing apps today. It was a common and accepted way to get around. People were generally more trusting, and the sense of community was strong. It was an era where a friendly wave and a cardboard sign could take you on an adventure, connecting with people and sharing stories along the way. Of course, times have changed, and hitchhiking isn't as common or safe nowadays, but looking back, those hitchhiking days were a unique part of the 70s experience. Number 6. Everybody wore bell-bottoms. We all wore bell-bottoms and we liked them as wide as possible. Everybody expressed their inner flower child by rejecting the conservative fashion of the 50s and early 60s. And the best way to do that was making sure your pants were flared and long, just like your hair. Bell-bottoms were like the ultimate cool back then. It was a time when fashion was all about being groovy and breaking free from the more buttoned-up styles of the past. Imagine everyone rocking these super wide-legged pants, almost like your legs were ready to take flight. It wasn't just a fashion statement. It was a rebellion against the old-school vibes. And it wasn't just about the pants. It was a whole vibe. People wanted to let loose, and bell-bottoms were the way to do it. They went perfectly with the free-spirited, long-haired look that was all the rage. So, when you think about the 70s, just picture everyone strutting around in their bell-bottoms, feeling like they were on a perpetual dance floor. It was a wild, fun, and far-out time in fashion history. Number 7. Girls wore halter tops and hiphuggers. Remember that we used to wear halter tops and hiphuggers the next time you're scandalized by what a Gen Zer is wearing. Here's my cousin, for example, at a family reunion in the 1970s. I'm sure she horrified our older relatives. And it was the 70s, so, of course, everyone was standing around smoking. Back then, halter tops, those shirts tied around the neck, and hiphuggers, pants with a low waistline, were all the rage. It was a fashion statement, a rebellion against the more conservative styles of the past. People rocked these outfits with confidence, even if it might have raised some eyebrows at family gatherings. The cigarette smoke swirling around just added to the atmosphere, capturing the carefree spirit of that era. Number 8. We loved our toe socks. Toe socks were a big craze back in my middle school days. These socks were not your regular ones. They had funky and colorful patterns, and sometimes even came with matching gloves. Now you might think it would make sense to wear them with sandals or open-toed shoes to flaunt the unique style, but nope, that's not what we did. We proudly rocked our toe socks inside our regular shoes and made sure all our friends knew about it. It was like our little secret fashion statement that made us feel cool and excited for some reason. Number 9. We collected charms for our charm bracelets. Before the era of Pandora bracelets, we rocked sterling silver charm bracelets to express our unique selves. These bracelets were chunky and clunky, making a distinctive jangling sound with every hand movement. But guess what? We didn't mind one bit. It was like wearing a declaration of our life's adventures. Having a charm-laden bracelet wasn't just a fashion choice, it was a status symbol. The more charms dangling from your wrist, the more interesting and eventful your life appeared. Visited Paris? Slap on that Eiffel Tower charm to commemorate the trip. A tennis enthusiast? You bet there was a cute little tennis racket charm to showcase your love for the game. It became a charming ritual to collect these trinkets for every special occasion, turning our wrists into personal storybooks of memories and experiences. Number 10. Cool guys wore turtlenecks and plaid pants. If you were a man in the 1970s and you wanted to look cool, young, and with it, your outfit choice was clear. Solid color turtleneck with slightly flared plaid pants. All the cool guys wore this outfit, from the youngest boys to your friend's recently divorced dad. It was like the unofficial cool guy uniform of the decade. This groovy ensemble wasn't just a fashion statement. It was a badge of belonging to the era's style tribe. The turtleneck and plaid pants combo was everywhere, making it the go-to look for guys who wanted to channel their inner disco vibes. It was the kind of outfit that said, "I'm hip, I'm happening, and I'm ready to groove on the dance floor or charm my way through a conversation." Interestingly, this fashion trend also crossed generational boundaries. It wasn't reserved for just the young and bold. Even your friend's dad, navigating the complexities of post-divorce life, was rocking the same cool threads. It became a symbol of universal coolness, breaking down age barriers and bringing a sense of camaraderie among men of all ages.